afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for letting me speak to you again today. It's an absolute pleasure and privilege to speak in your hometown on the very, very important subject of Palestine. As ever, I speak here today on behalf of the SIPTU, that's the Irish Congress of Trade Unions, in particular on behalf of my own trade union, SIPTU, to carry the message of solidarity to the people of Palestine from ourselves. As people will know, this week there was a day of action throughout workplaces in Ireland, conducted by trade unionists. It was one of the most successful days of action there has been in recent times. And I want to commend the workers of Ireland because they dared actually speak out in the workplaces, the whole lunchtime protest, and say, do not stop speaking about Palestine. Do not stop talking about Palestine. Do not stop calling attention to Palestine. When you see genocide, call out genocide. When you see murder, call out murder. When you see wrong, condemn it. And condemn it no matter who it is that does it. No matter who it is. No matter who it is that justifies it, or hides from it, or tries to normalise it. This week, a week of supposed change in Ireland, when the wine jumped out of one bottle and got into another, and we got a new Minister for Finance. A Minister for Finance that today has not passed the Occupied Territories Bill and is still refusing to do so. Shame on them.
Shame! Boo!
Every single week there is a demonstration outside Dáil Éireann calling on them to do so. They must be deaf because they haven't heard the will of the people, of the good people of this country, who are saying enact the Occupied Territories Bill and enact it now. To a new minister, Miss McEntee, you said you were going to do something about it. You don't have days, you don't have weeks, the time is now. Palestine is not on its knees, it's lying flat on the ground prostrate and it is about to die. But away from the Occupied Territories Bill that must be passed, the good people of this town, the people walking up and down the street, I know when I speak to the people here with flags you already know, so apologies, I will repeat myself again and again and again until it's heard. You must boycott. You must boycott those products that put bullets in the guns of the IDF. You must boycott those things. When you buy your Coca-Cola, when you buy things from Unilever, when you go to those coffee shops, when you buy fruit and veg shops that buy off Israeli farmers, you are putting bullets, single bullets into guns. You are putting the munitions into airplanes, the munitions that are illegally landed in Shannon, which our government also does nothing about. Shame on our government and shame on people who support that. But you must boycott these things. You must boycott. You must go into your workplaces where you can, and where you can't talk in your workplace, you must talk outside the workplace, but you must demand divestment from those companies that fund the Israeli war machine. Be the insurance companies, be they computer tech, it does not matter who they are, they must divest for a murder. They must divest. A little over 100 years ago, the Nazi war machine, when it was cranking up and beginning, before we knew what it was gaining funds, was gaining funds from companies that were more interested in profit than they were in what was morally right, what was righteous and what was good. And today, we see the same thing, but it's tenfold and tenfold worse. We must go to our workplaces and we must say to them, get rid of your Yule placard, get rid of those things, take them out because they are funding murder, they are funding debt. They are everything that we are not. They are everything that we are not. And then lastly, and it is the Occupied Territories Bill for the time being, but it's time that our government actually took a little bit of action and spoke a little bit louder in Europe, in the Congress of Europe. It's time that they spoke a little bit louder in the UN and in the Congress of the UN. There must be sanctions imposed upon war criminals. There must be sanctions imposed on warlike countries, on those who profit in pain and hatred. That is the Israeli state. There must be sanction, and there must be call for sanction, and we can no longer be quiet about it because we cannot stop talking about Palestine. This week alone, during a supposed ceasefire, small children were maimed and murdered. And it's not like people don't know about it, because even the mainstream press now will report it, albeit as a minor news story. So successful has the USA and its collaborators been in normalising genocide. I listened today when Micheál Martin said, as well as Palestine, we must not forget Sudan, and he's quite correct, we must not. But we also must not forget the fact that Micheál Martin and his government has done fuck all for either. Yes. For either. We stand here today because we will not allow be done in Palestine in our name what was once done in this country in others. We will not allow people to be pushed off the land. We will not allow people to be diminished. We will not allow people to be dehumanised. We will stand and we will shout firmly and squarely unto the world that we condemn these things. I stand here today as a trade unionist in the proud tradition of trade unionism. The founder of my trade union, James Connolly, once said that Ireland be a beacon of hope to the oppressed. And today, as I stand here among my comrades and my colleagues and my friends, I know that that call remains true and remains the aspiration of Ireland. But it should not just be an aspiration. Our government has it in their power to take an action that would inspire the rest of the countries in Europe to do similar. They must pass the Occupied Territories Bill, and they must stop not talking, should I say, about Palestine. They must stop trying to normalise it or justify it or talk it away. It is not good enough. It is not good enough to describe it as a calamity. It's a genocide. It is a genocide. It has been defined as a genocide by the UN. How much more do you need before you take action? How much more does this world need, does the West need before it owns its own culpability in what is happening in the world today? The people of Palestine deserve to live. They have a right to life. They have a right to breed. They have a right to friendship. They have a right to Congress. And yet, today in Palestine, in a ceasefire, if a group of Palestinians gathered, like we gathered today, they would suddenly be arrested. They'd be taken away for interrogation. And most of them would never face a charge. They'd just rot in prisons, where they would be beaten and tortured. And why? Not because they are a threat to a democracy, not because they are a threat to a nation, but because they say that they are a nation. And they are a nation. It doesn't matter whether the USA says they are or they aren't. It doesn't matter whether Israel says they are or they aren't. What matters is that they are. They exist, and they have a right to exist. And we stand here today, we say that. We say, free, free!
Palestine!
Free, free!
Palestine!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
And lastly, and I will finish now because my throat's getting sore, I will say it again what I've said here previously. If you walk in the factory, if you walk in the shop, if, like many of my friends, you walk in the health service, like a lady of loads up there, if you walk there, go in and talk about Palestine, call upon those people to do the right thing. I applaud the work of the healthcare workers for Palestine, who in recent weeks have been quite vocal to the HSE about what they need to do. But the HSE won't act until we're told to act by our government. And our government won't act until we force them to act. And that is why we stand here today. But I say to all the workers in Ireland who stand in solidarity with Palestine, thank you so much. Because no one will be able to say that they didn't know. Thank you.